Hello everybody, Xyno here. I am re-recording my impressions because these two files right here are apparently desynced to high heaven. No matter how much I try and resync it, it desyncs in the middle of the recording, so I am re-recording some impressions on the Minecraft RTX beta. It just dropped the other day. I would have had this done when it first came out, but I was trying to solve how to get that thing constantly synced, and it wasn't working, so I'm just going to record another recording kind of right off the bat. I guess now is the perfect time for me to say Minecraft with RTX at night is a trip. It is something in itself just amazing, especially if you have like well-lit areas like a village at night, or these lanterns in the fields over here. I'm near a village that I'm playing on the Crystal Palace RTX demo because you're only allowed to play on prefabricated worlds, and this is the closest thing to a natural world. I do have it on peaceful just so things don't disturb me while I'm out here, but I usually play on normal, which I would if I wasn't talking. But Minecraft RTX at night is awesome. Other than the artifacts, if you can see these constant shadow banding, it's because they're trying to clean up the image after it gets ray traced. But as we're going along the night here, I do have to tell you, Minecraft during the day isn't as impressive, in my opinion. I don't know if I've been spoiled by those Minecraft Java Optifine shaders, the Sonic Ether shaders, all those shader packs, texture packs, all those things have kind of spoiled it for me, because that is a lot more. I don't know why. I thought there would be more, less of a performance hit on here. Like, I thought they would have created a good hybrid system of rendering with rasterization and ray tracing, like they did with like Battlefield, for example. But I feel like this game is completely ray traced, and that's why the performance is really, really hard on your GPU. Because I have an RTX 2070, if you can see on the top of the screen, and I'm barely hitting 60 FPS at 1080p, and technically this isn't even 1080p because if you go to the video settings, we have upscaling turned on because they just integrated their new DLSS 2.0, which is way better than 1.0, by the way. But what it is basically doing here is rendering my actual GPU at 720p, which is like Xbox 360 Minecraft resolutions, and it's using AI to upscale it to 1080p, and it does such a good job it just looks like 1080p. But the reason why I'm a little disappointed in the performance side is because that is literally a resolution cut in half, and they had to implement, like they had to, in order to release this, to implement DLSS to even get this to run at like a stable frame rate, because you obviously know Minecraft doesn't need a lot of graphics horsepower to even run. Like, when you turn DirectX ray tracing off, first of all, the chunk distance by default shoots up massively. It feels so much better, more responsive. Maybe I've been spoiled by high frame rates, but it feels much more responsive to play on. The distance go much further. Yeah, the lighting is a lot more simple, but it feels overall way better to play, especially if I turn the chunks down a little bit, because that is a little bit on the high side. 64 chunks should be plenty. And it feels fantastic and smooth and glorious, especially if you have a high refresh rate monitor. I don't know if you guys can see my frame rate in the top left corner there. I'll have to check in post, but it feels good. And then when you turn DirectX ray tracing on, the chunks, if you want a stable frame rate, especially with the 2070, like, you're going to need an RTX 2080 Ti or whatever newer cards come out later this year to even get a chance at running this at a higher frame rate. But I'm running this at technically 720p, upscaled to 1080p, at 8 chunks, so the fog distance is easily noticeable. Now, granted, that could become an atmospheric effect, but the light payoff, I think, is really good for night because it gives it more of a realistic sense of light bounces, so it's naturally darker. Light bounces off objects a little more realistically. It feels great. It feels pretty darn good, and I'm going to figure out how to go back into the castle, because the castle has a lot more of a lit environment, but I gotta commend the RTX team the developer teams for getting light to look as natural as possible, because that's probably one thing that the shaders don't really do without you having to do a bunch of tweaking. This is kind of just a go, but you're taking a huge performance hit in order to achieve that effect. I don't know if it's worth it right now, so it's a good thing they are in beta, because I thought they were ready to publish this whenever, because we never really got a good performance number on how well it ran when they were showing us demos back when they first unveiled the trailers for this. So I don't know what to say, because I'm trying to do my best to give a as realistic as possible gameplay experience, because people are going to be playing this on survival. Yeah, they'll play it on creative and abuse the light system to high heaven, but if you're just trying to play Minecraft in survival with as much natural gameplay as you can, this is as close as I can get to an experience where it demonstrates that. So here are the castles. I don't remember how to get in there, but I'm kind of waiting for Dave for my impressions, because I'll try and cut any points where I'm not talking just to keep the video flowing. One other thing I am disappointed in, that the Java version actually support. Wow, look at that banding! I forgot it did that, because it has to clean up the lack of light using denoising. You'll see that banding as the light disappears. Oh wow, that got Dave real fast. Well, Dave's coming, but you don't have light in your hand as you move around. That would have been really cool to show off as like an RTX feature. Look at you holding off this realistic lamp, like torch, as you're walking around. But no, apparently that's not a thing yet in the Windows version of Minecraft. Which only makes me want to play the Java version more. I might even pull up some Java version. I can't even talk. Java version footage, because I do have like a Sonic Ether shader. I think it's an outdated version, but I have that, and the water on that looks insane. Like I know they're trying to keep the aesthetic the same here, but having realistic water with the old textures blended together really well. And it's sometimes a little jarring here. Like you spawn, when you load this map up, oh wow, look at that waterfall. See, this does look, it has its own artistic aesthetic, but something about the shaders. Like this is more of a realistic bending of light when you walk inside the water. Wow, the performance shoots down when you're in water. Like the light rays are realistic. I know you would, in real life, it'd be really hard to see without goggles or something. But it's almost otherworldly. It's fantastic. Look, it's not screen space reflections. It's actual ray trace reflections. So when I look down, the reflection of the boat is still there, even though I'm not rendering it on my screen. That is always nice. That's one of my favorite things about ray tracing these days. It's not a cube map. It's not screen space. It's true ray trace reflections. I know it's a performance hitter, but it looks nice. Wow. It's just I don't know, thank God they decided to release this as a beta, because the performance is my biggest disappointment. If I were able to play this at 1080p at like 90, 100 FPS on a 2070, you know, the perfect mid-range card for this, I would have been thoroughly impressed. Even at 8 chunks, 110 native 1080p. I thought that's what they were trying to achieve. Apparently not, because the performance here is almost atrocious to me, and I know that sounds PC elitist, but it makes me want to know what the heck they were doing when you guys remember the super duper graphics pack back when the Xbox One X was revealed? That never came out, and it's probably because they were trying to focus on making this. I bet the super duper graphics pack with rasterization, with ray trace like reflections and maybe ambient lighting, would have made this game perform way better and almost look just as good, if not the same. I think they should have done something like that, because I need to do my research here, but I feel like this entire game is completely ray traced, like how Quake RTX is, that demo, that whole game is just ray traced everything. Nothing's like hybrid rasterized like Battlefield or Control or all those other RTX games, but I feel like this is a purely RTX rendered game, like ray traced game. And I think they need to not do that right now. Not until ray tracing becomes way more efficient. So they may be thinking ahead, which is kind of smart, but they should implement a hybrid feature for performance reasons. Wow, it's almost jarring not to see lighting. Like no shadows on some of these. Because it's on some, like over there, but I feel like sometimes it's not working right. Like in my original video, I said in some spots the grass had some unnatural plastic sheen, almost like it was a specular map. Like back when the games, when the 360 first came out, in order to exacerbate detail on textures, they literally added a shiny specular map onto everything to give it detail, and it gave everything that plastic weird look to it. Sometimes you see that on here, and I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if it's a texture artifact on what they're doing, but I kind of don't like it. And I know I played this game with my first impressions on daytime first, so I was a little disappointed when, I was so excited to try this beta out. It was a pain in the butt for them to accept my beta invitation or whatever you call it. But I finally got in, downloaded it, and I was starting to record my impressions, and I was just like, I don't know. Other than the shadows and the realistic light, it's not as good as I thought. And then when night came, I was just like, oh yeah, see, this is a game you're going to want to play at night. Oh, now, okay, granted, I have a soft spot for night with lanterns and stuff, like when I played Fallout 4 with the realistic nights, with the lanterns on in like the major cities, it looked beautiful. So anything at night with lights, that ambient lighting just looks beautiful to me. But I don't know. These are my impressions. If I were to give ratings on how this goes, I would give the performance a 4 out of 10. I'm being harsh. I thought this would be way more optimized. I'm giving the aesthetics for daytime. In this current world, this is the closest to default world as far as I know. I have like another demo I guess I could load up while I'm giving off these ratings. But light, during the day, I would say 6 out of 10. Light at night, 9 or 10 out of 10 because it's so beautiful. Responsiveness, because I can play games at 60 FPS, but I don't feel, what do you call it? Input delay. With Minecraft RTX, I feel input delay on my mouse movements. And I don't like that. When I turn it off, it becomes one of the most responsive games I've ever felt again. Like, I don't know if I've been spoiled by high frame rate games again, but I played games at 60 FPS recently, and they feel just as responsive. So responsiveness, I don't know, 6 out of 10, because I can feel the hit it takes. So, but overall, I'd probably give Minecraft as its current state about a 6.5 out of 10 because they got a lot of work to do, and it's a good thing they're pushing this beta out to everybody so they can give feedback and figure out ways they can optimize performance, because they can like lower the resolution or light bounces of light given and increase performance, but still give it a realistic look. I mean, Battlefield 5 had to do that because its initial release was atrocious in frame rate 2. They're going to do performance patches. They're going to make sure maybe they do a hybrid rendering system. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm still excited about this. It's a little lame because I've been spoiled by shader packs, which make it almost look just as good. And that's all I have to say. I give it, I think I said 6.5 out of 10. I just can't wait for the performance increases, or whenever the new graphics cards come out, because the 3000 series, if they add like 3 times or more tensor cores for close to the same price of the 2000 series coming out, because everybody knows that they're finally adopting ray tracing technology, the 3000 series of cards, or whatever they're going to call it, is going to be insane. And I can't wait to pick up the new graphics card because I've been saving up and getting ready for the new launch. Hopefully we'll be able to change my opinions on this, but you can't just spend more money to fix the problem, in my opinion. But that's all I have to say. So Xyno's out of here. Let's hope this stupid frame rate doesn't desync, and I will catch you guys on another video, probably not Minecraft related. So I'll see ya.